we going to see a repeat with the same game from before, Splice versus Dignitas 3-0? Are we going to see a 3-0 rival against Trifecta?
This could be where Trifecta's momentum stops. They had a great run during the HRX placements, but this is an interesting matchup against rival, the second place team from Season 4 Worlds.
It's a tough situation for Trifecta. They've drafted a similar play style 2 games in a row, and rival has responded with patient and defensive gameplay, and both times it seems like their 5v5 has just been a little bit better.
Yeah.
It's just a style that Trifecta's not prepared for. Despite beating out the world defending champions, they're struggling against the second place team from Season 4.
It just doesn't seem like this early aggression is enough. Paul was even 5-1 at the start of that, or towards the mid part of that game, and it just wasn't enough. No matter what these star players can bring, they don't seem to have that team fight presence like you were saying, Fine OK.
Yeah, they're getting a lot of these red buffs, but rival is either getting one kill off of it, or they're looking for something somewhere else. Maybe they're invading a speed buff Deathwalker. So I think if Scary gets a good matchup and they still are able to invade these red buffs, it's going to be a lot better for them because Deathwalker won't just be free farming on the solo side of the map.
As good as Paul is on the Ullr making those flashy plays, you need to make sure that it's a team collective effort. Ullr doesn't really provide much for the team if you're not getting the picks to start it off the fights.
All right, looking like standard picks so far. Fenrir on Trifecta's side, Raijin on Rival's side. The Erlang and R2 ban right away, though. They're not even waiting for that second ban phase.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, they're banning very similar to what they did the last game, and it makes sense. Hovering the Raijin, which, I mean, if they lock that in, I think it's just, they're just kind of running back last game.
I want to apologize, by the way. I said I didn't think Wlfy was doing that good as Raijin, and that last game there, he was doing amazing.
Yeah, he's definitely switched it up. His frontline Raijin game number 1 was put under the rug. Game number 2, just a little bit more patient. And that's what rival needs to be. It was Trifecta needing to be aggressive. Whenever you have a Fenrir support, that just screams early game aggression. It kind of fell into rival's hands.
The comps helped with him as well. The first game, the double warriors were diving, and he wasn't really getting any peel, whereas that last game, they had the Wlfy to pull anybody that was jumping on it, so Lana's heal. A lot of peel to help out the Raijin.
Okay, looks like we're doing some trading right now. They're going to be like, okay, you take Ullr, then we're going to take Freya.
I don't know if I would take Ullr over the Freya personally. What are your thoughts, Fine?
Maybe they've decided like something they want them to pick Freya and they have a certain draft to go against it. Or maybe they just feel like Paul's just doing too well, and if they take him off that, they'll win even harder.
And I think also it's to allow Wlfy more safety net in that mid lane. The matchup Ullr versus Raijin is just too obnoxious.
Yeah, you definitely, I mean, Raijin definitely provides a lot of range, but Ullr provides even more range.
Especially the poke, the early game poke. Any kind of physical hunter will just out-trade you. You ignore abilities, but basic attack versus basic attack, you're not even going to want to come close to the Ullr.
And if you're Alpha Jackal right now, what are you thinking? Are you saying, let's just try and 3-0 this, let's keep staying the same that we've been doing? Or should they try and pull something out right now?
It's tough to say. We saw Alpha after the game. He was trying to hype up the crowd. I think if they just play off their momentum, they're already up 2-0, play a similar play style to how they have been. I mean, they're just winning 5v5, partly because of their comp, but I also think that Rival is one of the best teams in the world, especially when it comes to team fighting. This
could be a good opportunity to pick Geb if you're a rival, trying to really counter the Fenrir, trying to make sure that the Freya burst damage gets mitigated a little bit. But the Chang'e for Scary D, this is now going to allow the Freya to be played for Zapman if they wanted to run a physical hunter for Paul.
And you guys were saying you wanted Scary D on someone that could probably afford to be a bit more involved in the team fights, and that's what Chang'e can bring.
Chang'e can definitely do that, but it just lacks that early game pressure. So if Deathwalker plays something aggressive, I think that the blue buff for Trifecta could be problematic.
So we're going to see an Wheelish ban here? I can't imagine them allowing Wheelish to go through.
Yeah, it's possible. We haven't really seen Sam play Wlfy really at all. I'm interested in the Chang'e match as well. Like we talked about, we wanted not Sam, but Scary on a good matchup, and they immediately pick Odin into it, which is kind of problematic. You can still go the Phantom level on Chang'e since you don't need the TP. You can buy everything from lane. But it's still a little bit sketchy, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Deathwalker and Odin. It's one of his favorite picks.
He likes to flex a lot, so it'd be not surprising to me either if the Odin pick, and it's a great counter matchup. There's no healing allowed, so not only does Chang'e not sustain, but Freya, if you get that magical lifesteal items.
So you think this is going to be Odin solo, but they just banned out Sun Wukong?
It's possible. Trifecta just knows that it's a flex, so they don't want to deal with Wukong. They felt like it just had too much rotational ability and everything.
And there's nothing more frustrating than a Sun Wukong who's at 5% health and then ults.
Yeah.
Decoy also smacking you in the face on top of that. Tanks towers, tanks objectives for you.
He hits one wave with the Soul Eater and he goes from 10% health to like 40% health. So it's pretty crazy this is staying.
Robin being banned out from Rival, and the final ban is a Wlfy right there, not wanting to deal with any kind of jump and pulls. But moving on to the second phase of picks, and Pele finally being picked.
I was going to mention that Pele was available, and with the ban of Robin, that could have been a pick for iceicebaby. But knowing Ice, he also likes the Odin, so it was difficult to kind of pinpoint where that's going.
Why did we see Pele a lot during the placement matches, but not really during this part of the Smite World Championships?
I think a lot of it also is just you want more utility. Like Pele does a lot of damage and a lot of surprise factor, but teams are starting to make these adaptations where as long as you have the vision and you know where Pele is going, you can just retreat.
She also doesn't bring the same amount of CC that a lot of these other junglers do, like Circuit or Ullr, things like that. And we still don't really know whether it's Pele jungle and Odin solo, or it could be Pele solo. We've seen Deathwalker play that a few times, and he plays it on stream. And it's not too bad of a matchup in the Chang'e, so.
The Hunbats. Look at this. They're doing the same thing, though?
Well, Hunbats with Chang'e, a lot of teamfight control, the Fear No Evil waxing moon. I'd be scared if I'm Rival in these little jungle corridor engagements.
Well, we just saw this game, too, with this early aggression for Trifecta, and it just didn't really do anything.
Well, to me, Trifecta's composition is more mid-game focused,
Okay.
mid to late. Like Fenrir is early game, but outside of the Fenrir, everything else seems to be mid to late.
Okay.
Yeah, their team fight 5v5 is a lot better this game as opposed to the last two games. But Rival is locking in Zhong last pick, and I'm pretty sure that's going to Deathwalker.
A Zhong solo.
It should be
Zhong
Odin
versus
support,
Chang'e.
Pele jungle, Zhong solo.
Well, tell me about this Zhong versus Chang'e matchup then, because I don't think I've ever seen that in the solo lane.
It's very skill dependent, honestly. It's one of the closer matchups. It kind of just depends on who gets the better sustain in lane and who gets the better poke.
It just feels like it's more passive in the 1v1, and what's more dependent is the jungler rotations to make the first impact.
All right, gentlemen, this could potentially be the last semifinal game. Looking at these two comps, already knowing Rival is up 2-0, who do you give it to?
Rival.
I want to see a game 4. I'm going to Trifecta.
You're just out of the hope, but if you're not wanting a game 4, not even looking at it, looking at the comps.
Rival, probably.
All right, well, we're going to be jumping into the potentially final game of the semifinals today. Gentlemen, casters, is this going to be it for the semifinals?
I don't know, but to be fair, in the world of Smite semi-finals, Tom, we don't get 2-3-0s. That's not normal. Normally it's the finals that can be on one side of the fair, but semis generally can go the distance.
Ain't nothing normal about this weekend, Hindu man. And
Tell me about it.
I think we might be seeing a 3-0. Listen. I think Tolly nailed it on the desk. Tolly asked for more team fight presence out of Paul.
Yep.
He's doing the Ullr thing. He's doing the individual superstar thing.
Sure.
But Tolly nailed it. Play a damn mage. Give Paul something that's going to have presence in a team fight.
But what? That's the issue, because Freya's really dominant right now, and Raijin keeps getting stripped away from him all the time.
He's got a huge god pool. He can play a whole bunch of stuff. I maintain that Paul looking for these individual picks worked earlier on in the season and the tournament. But this is all, you are against the team's team. Team Rival is the team of, it's the Voltron.
Do you know what, though? I want another game. So I'm going to say something I've never said before, and this will probably be the last time I ever say this. Can we get a USA chant in the crowd?
Oh my God.
No? Okay, cool. That worked out really well. Everyone's on the side of EU, quite clearly. They all want to go home early. So do I, then. That works out perfectly. Is it because I'm British that I can't say, can we get a USA chant? Because that's the only chant you guys have got, right?
Yeah, hey, watch this. All right, guys, can I get a USA chant? Get wrecked, Hindu man.
Yeah.
Get wrecked, Hindu man.
Well, I hope Rival win now, you scumbags. That's what you get.
Yeah,
It's
the
like pantomime up here now. Oh, you've started.
anti-Hindu man chant. That's the way I like to start a game. Realistically,
Oh,
Trifecta's
oh,
mid laner already
oh.
getting walked down. iceicebaby shows up.
What a great use of the Aegis. I'll tell you what, he was out of position, but that was lucky enough that he escapes for now. But Rival already off to pressure already.
Listen, I'll be honest. I want a game 4 as well, but
I don't now.
I think Trifecta needed to have a little bit more team fight presence. So Freya is more of the carry god. Here comes Trifecta in the middle lane.
Wlfy jumped into death. Zapman sucking gets a double kill. done, Trifecta! 4 men in the mid line take down 2 members of Rival. That's the start they needed.
And this is how Trifecta need to play. I mentioned before, Rival is the adaptation team. They write what you do down in the book, and then they counter it. Trifecta right there took a page out of that book from Team Rival. They've gotten their red buff invaded a number of times, and this time, Trifecta was waiting.
Freya in the mid lane over the Book of Tough that we've seen quite a few times here for Paul. So far today, we've only seen him on the Ullr. Well, this time around, playing the Freya in this position, he's been around before.
And so what I was getting at was if you give Paul a mage, Vulcan, or one of these team fight-oriented characters, he can play the team fights a little bit better, which is what Rival are looking for. Paul being the guy and dunking on everybody hasn't worked in the late game. Now.
Oh, Sam, what you doing, Sam? Callus, watch your back! Vote under pressure, knocked him in the air, overhand slam connects. Still pressure onto Vote as he leaps into the fight. Sam gets a 3rd kill of the game. With that, let's also look back at Sam's first 2 kills on the Respawn First Blood.
Got a fantastic secondary look at this one. And yeah, this was just Sam4Soccer taking advantage of Team Rival and Trifecta understanding the play from Rival. The jump comes through and gets the slowdown, and then the rest is just big boy damage. Sammy slams it down there, gets it with the basic attack after the fact. 2 for the Jungle Monkey.
I'm not sure about Wlfy there because he jumps in to try and help out his jungler. In doing so, he puts himself at risk, and I don't think he realized there was an additional member there. Trifecta now, though, up by 3 kills and about 1,000 gold because of it. Start to get aggressive towards the jungle, but this time round the door is closed by the fact that Pele and Raijin were already there.
I think I might get a chance to finish my Paul statement now.
Eventually.
So, if he's going to play the individual pick guy, like just give him the ball. Ullr was doing it in the mid game, but then was being taken over by the traditional mages in the late game. Now with access to the Freya, he can look to be a little bit more aggressive. And this only works if Trifecta snowballs everything in their area. Guess what they're doing right now, Hindu?
Trying to snowball everything in their area, sure.
They've got the 3 kills already. This is the lead that you want to see if you're rooting for Zapman, NeiruMah, Paul, Sam, and Scary D.
I'm a little bit worried though when it gets to team fights from Rival because every single one of those gods is a threat.
Yep.
Not just terms of, well, survivability, but damage as well. Every single one of them is going to cause problems. Even the Odin, the Bird Bomb causes problems, the Ring causes problems, and you got a Zhong that's got Ghost, and when you're trying to run from Ghost, the next minute you walk around the corner, and there's a freaking Pele, this is not easy to deal with.
The Zhong was one of the more problematic selections, I think, for Trifecta. Across the way, they've got to deal with everything you just mentioned, and then Deathwalker Zhong is just going to walk up and do damage. First out of Bancroft Talon, he's showing us his hand. Deathwalker is looking to do damage and hurt Trifecta. They're going to get surprised by that.
One thing I do like about Trifecta's comp, though, a bit of, once again, escapability. Scary D's got some on Chang'e, obviously. Paul himself, but NeiruMah under a bit of pressure here, just for a second. He's a little bit worried for that. But Zapman, plenty of self-peel on this Jingwei, and surprisingly enough, we've not seen so much Jingwei just lately that we did at the placements.
Placements, Jingwei made a lot of, got a lot of play. I think she's a fantastic counter.
Oh, that wasn't very nice at all. That was pretty mean. Poor dog.
Yeah, that's a big combo. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 abilities blowing up at the same time. Bladed Arrow, Hail of Arrows, and the Bird Bomb. Combination Lunge and Raven Shield.
Meanwhile, on the right-hand side, Fenrir, we will have from Sam4Soccer, waxing Moon soon after. Monkey Toss connects, but in comes iceicebaby. Immune by Scary D for the first shot, but the second one, not so easy. The crowd a bit pumping here for Rival on those 2 kills.
Scary D's got to be a little bit more patient on that ultimate. Level 6, he does have access to it, but he used it when he looked for the 2-on-1 jungle gank. Losing my train of thought the way the Soul Lane is losing his life. But the key is, Scary D has to find that when there's more players on the battlefield. That Zhong is extremely tanky, and Scary D and Sam4Soccer don't have the characters or the itemization to take down the tanky Zhong just yet.
I was going to say, at this point in time, now that that gank fails on Zhong, I think you leave that lane alone. Scary D's not going to die there 1v1. He should be relatively safe just to farm up and keep pace with a Zhong. Have Sam look elsewhere. It's the only place he's kind of suffered on the ganks.
I am going to disagree with you, and I'll tell you why.
You want to gank in a Zhong over and again?
I do. Well, at the very least for now, and he's going to buy boots, and he's not going to buy tank boots. What you want to do is take advantage of the fact that he's building power. Zhongqi, excuse me, has natural protections by way of his kit, but you're able to take advantage because he's not building tanky. So as Sam for Soccer, he comes up short. The 2-on-1 gank leaves Zhongqi with about 10% HP. Next time, as Sam gets more items, he's going to hit harder.
Maybe that'll be the case. Sam does find the monkey toss there towards Callus, but won't follow up with it.
He's going to hit harder, and Zhong's not going to get tankier. That's the problem with ganking solo lane.
Great knockup from Zap just at the right time there. Vote could have gone in for the all-in combination, but meanwhile in the mid lane, 4-on-3 was developing with Deathwalker rotating around yet again. Deathwalker's really the quicker one off the pace than Scary D, always looking to try and get across here, not just on Sun Wukong, obviously, Sun Wukong, but he's doing it on Zhongqi as well.
The effect that Zhongqi can have in these team fights is immeasurable. He pops the ultimate, sure, and we all know what it's like to have a moving Fear No Evil, essentially. But the fact that he's got a slow to that card to enable his teammates to get up to him, and then Exorcism does dummy damage right now. He's got the Bancroft talent, and he's going to pick up the booties. He's going to hit so hard.
iceicebaby groping around on this right-hand side now with the blue buff about to spawn up. And it's going to be a chance for Rival to invade. No pressure really from Trifecta. They're going to surrender that. Left-hand side, Vote's also finding the the oracles near the Gold Fury. So slowly but surely, Rival just finding a bit more experience from Trifecta or the neutral area of the map.
This build from Zhong are not only going to affect the fight against the players, but also affect the fight against the NPCs. When you look at Chang'e, she's got to use multiple abilities in order to confirm that blue buff. DW now with the Exorcism combined with the damage attribution from the Bancroft talent, he's going to one-shot that blue buff. Chang'e can't fight that unless she uses ult.
Sam for Soccer jumps on iceicebaby with the monkey, gets the beads, and him straight away tries to leap out, but Callus got the ring down. So, overhead smash doesn't really do too much, but Paul comes through at the critical moment in time.
Sammy's gonna fall down, NeiruMah in trouble, but Team Rival also in trouble. Beautiful Wolf! What goes up must come down! Paul sets his teammates up, and Paul brings it home! Callus is gonna eat it!
And Zapman has mana enough to get in there with the airstrikers. Vote was out of mana. 4 members of Rival die. Zhong and Scary D in the mid lane will just keep each other busy. No Gold Fury attempt, no, that's a bit surprising.
Trifecta right now, they just don't want to roll the dice. Callus is up already, and iceicebaby as well. I don't know if they have the damage for that. Maybe a little overcautious, but I respect it.
What amazing play from Paul, though, overall in that engagement. The banishes were good. Sam was the one that engaged.
Yeah.
And as soon as he did, he got the beads out in response from iceicebaby.
That's what I really loved about Sam's play in that team fight. He drops the ultimate and immediately jumps out, telling us that that was the game plan. A lot of times you'll see him drop the totem and then look to fight, realize they've used purification, and then get on out of there. That wasn't the case. This was Paul goes to the back line, drops the totem.
Scary's in trouble, gets him back, meditation off, and the waxing moon, but still Scary's alive under the tower. iceicebaby may fall, but no, the card from Deathwalker will be enough to bring him down.
Beautiful play there from from Team Rival, rather, making sure to put Scary D down with the help from the jungle.
Callus gonna leap away, but straight away Sam follows in. Now on the left-hand side, Vote jumps at Zap. Zap at half health. Zap at no health. Vote gets a solo kill.
Taunt him, Vote, taunt him. Oh, come on, man, where you at?
iceicebaby, he's in the jungle on the wrong side of town right now, and he walks into the dog and the Freya. iceicebaby gonna resustain, but it's not gonna be enough. Paul gets his 4th kill of the game.
That was almost too much to handle. Missed axe, here comes the Fear No Evil. Paul, nowhere to be seen. Vote versus the monkey. Jumps away, that's all good.
I thought for a second we're gonna see Sam follow that. I would have followed that for sure with a jump over if he had the some sort available, but Wlfy and Callus were right there, and wisely so, Sam didn't continue the chase. Purple buff goes the way of Rival. As we look at the gold, it's relatively even. Rival up only 700 with experience. It's a different story.
Now we can see Team Rival certainly powering out as far as the levels are concerned. It's all about Deathwalker. 4 levels above Scary D's Chang'e. Chang'e's only level 9. That's an issue. 1 level between the jungles, I don't really care. But Deathwalker is at least matched up with Paul. Paul's 2 levels above Wlfy, and he's going to be able to utilize that. But the difference is Deathwalker's on a team fight mage. The prowess and the presence from the Zhongqi being 3 levels ahead is going to be more then Paul's Freya in the mid game up 2 levels.
Vote has no beats here, but he lands a beautiful axe in response to NeiruMah. I actually thought they wouldn't have gone for a pick, but no Ragnarok was available either. Keeps Vote in check for the time being. Those beads still down for another 90 seconds.
That man's Jing has been a conversation piece for a long time. Oof, put a little bit off there. And I love Zapman's ability to farm with this character. The Jing passive allows her to pick up those back camps a little bit more often. It allows her to be a little bit more aggressive so she can go back to the fountain to get back to lane. The problem is it's not doing what it's supposed to do here. Vote has a lead against Zap's Jing, and that just shouldn't happen.
Gold Fury being looked at by Rival, but Oracles are for Trifecta. That little blue glow around is a free ward that Trifecta have by controlling the Oracle pit. So everything that Rival do here is in full vision, and that's why NeiruMah's just going to stand around and make sure that they can't really do it. That was really Rival just seeing the lay of the land, right? Seeing exactly where Trifecta were.
That's the proverbial brick through a window. Trying to see how quickly the opponent's going to come through and look at the objective. Throw the brick through the window and see the response time of the first responders. Trifecta's there. They have Oracle vision. Team Rival realize that's just not in the cards. They walk away.
Meanwhile, there's not much going on the map at the moment. Everyone just looking to farm out, looking for the level 12. So important, Smite, to hit level 12. The first one's important to get your ultimate at level 5, but then you want your secondary relic. And right now, Scary D wishes he had this second relic as he's being run down by iceicebaby. The waxing moon's gone, and that is the strength of Pele in the jungle.
What do you do? iceicebaby just hits W and left click. What do you do there? The answer for Scary D is absolutely nothing. Still 2 levels down, so shortening his lead a little bit, but Deathwalker certainly in control of this side lane.
And that tier 1 tower on the right has already fallen down for Scary D now because of the pressure coming from iceicebaby to keep this Chang'e pinned down in the early game and give Deathwalker the lane that he's after. 3-level advantage now, and whenever he turns up to these team fights, he's going to cause another additional problem for Trifecta to deal with.
Trifecta lurking in the jungle. NeiruMah's here, Collis knows it, so no over-aggression from either of our hunters. Paul knows Deathwalker's lurking in the jungle, so he's not going to leave his tower either. A little bit careful play from Trifecta. That'll open up Team Rival to look for the Gold Fury one more time. Trifecta no longer have that vision. The Oracle vision is not in Trifecta's favor. It's actually in Team Rival's favor. And that's going to open the door for the Europeans to look for the objective.
Deathwalker already over from the solo lane 2 on zone work at the moment, and NeiruMah already lost half his health. They pick up the Zhong. Zhong forced the beads in response. Round the back comes Sam for Soccer, but the Gold Fury's already gone to Rival. Deathwalker may fall. No, he'll slip the noose just in time.
Sam for Soccer gets away. Trifecta just watched that go down. And that's one of those that Team Rival just did a fantastic job of zoning. Trifecta tried to get in there, but Rival didn't let him.
Paul needs some help right now. He's got no ultimate, he's got no life. iceicebaby again is starting to take this game by the scruff of the neck with Pele. We don't see her that often in this tournament so far, but we know she's got so much mobility and damage to resustain after the fact. It's going to cause problems for Trifecta.
Team Rival are trying to win this game the old-fashioned way. From the right side of their map, the jungle and the solo laner look to get extreme leads and then just sort of carry the game from there until it's late game and the mid laner just mages out. You've got level 15 on the Zhong, who built largely hybrid damage. This Legion helmet is the first pure defensive item we've got. Pure damage, hybrid damage, and now defense. Very non-traditional for a solo laner, but effective it certainly is. Number 1 on the player damage. Number 1 in the team fight presence as far as I'm concerned. The only one close is Pele, and she's gotten a number of solo kills.
It's about 3,000 gold now in favor of Rival. And if you actually look at the play damage, I want to see actually experience for them in gold for the individuals. Because at the moment it's 3,000 in favor of Rival, 5,500 experience, and all that matters at only 15 minutes in. Normally around the 24 to 25 minute mark on average, I'd say, where everyone hits level 20 and the experience isn't as important.
Well, right now, Trifecta certainly needs that experience. They have evened up in the mid lane, so that was sort of their saving grace. Paul was ahead, while Deathwalker was ahead on the other side. Now Paul's not ahead, and DW still has that lead.
Do you reckon coming into this, though, this has always been the story, like Rival are going to go back to finals like last year and try and correct what they saw as an issue where they lost that best of 5 against United?
I mean, this is really the question about consistent energy or huge catalyst, right? Team Rival has had this sort of steam locomotive play the entire time, whereas Trifecta just hit the NOS button here in the last split and placement rounds. So the question that we're asking here is Team Rival's consistent win and consistent ability to consistently show up at LAN going to reign supreme, or is Trifecta's lightning in a bottle the one that comes up on top? For 2 games, it's been Team Rival. This third one looks like it could be the same.
It goes Sam with a blink, but there's only 3 members here with him with the Fear No Evil. Deathwalker, though, pulled under the tower and immediately afterwards gets his ultimate off. NeiruMah's looking for a target. He's looking for the fat old Zhong, but the Zhong's just out of range and he jukes it out. Instead, they pick up iceicebaby, and that gives Wlfy all this time to get so much damage off that iceicebaby's got himself a kill. Now Callus to the back line. In goes Vote 2, looking for Scary D, but he can't find the hit, so it forces Wlfy to pick up the kill.
10 kills for Team Rival so far. They're walking past the tower. They're looking for the team fight. 3 players of Trifecta sitting on the bench. Tier 1 tower crumbles, and Team Rival looking for more.
Vote might have gone too far, and Zapman and Paul will punish him for that. Great banish out of Paul once again, and the burst damage from the combination of the 2 members of Trifecta left ends up slowing down what Rival can do now, because honestly, that could have been a fire giant.
Sure, might have been able to be a fire giant. With Paul and NeiruMah still available, I think that becomes a scary prerogative.
But 5-on-2 was the situation, right? And you've only got Zapman and Paul alive. If Vote doesn't go in looking for the big play, the whole team goes to the fire giant. You've got 2 members to zone them away.
That's fair. That's certainly fair. I still think it would have been a careful call to make. And I like that Team Rival are playing this a little bit more close to the chest. They're trying to make sure that this third game doesn't get out of control, because Trifecta is still absolutely a threat. Paul's on Freya. The game is never over till the Titan falls with that variable in here. And Team Rival know if they lose this game, they can absolutely lose a game 4. I talk a lot about the science of the set and player psychology. Losing this game is really rough. A lot of times, if the team that wins game number 3 can also win game number 4 if need be, and then you wind up in a singleton in game 5. It's a very scary prospect to lose this 3-0, and Team Rival are playing it careful, and I like that call.
Rival are all heading over towards the Gold Furies. That's due up in a few seconds' time. Meanwhile, though, Trifecta grouping on this right-hand side. Fire Giant is available, and it's a realistic opportunity, although we mentioned the fact Freya struggles with objectives. NeiruMah might struggle with Pele.
Ultimate or ultimate. iceicebaby actually doesn't use his, or is it just still on still in the lightning hands?
He's still got the lightning hands for a second, I believe, by looking at what he used there. We'll find out if it ended up causing a problem. Gold Fury is open here. Vote's going to be over there straight away. Minions on the left-hand side, and Sam for showing presence in right means this could be potentially free for Ryan.
This is absolutely free. Jingwei is nowhere close enough. That's a bad play by Trifecta. That is just an oversight that cannot happen on the world stage. You need the vision, you need the presence, and Trifecta just to have neither. And because of that, Team Rival take the objective, find themselves up 6,000 gold.
Are you really upset about the Gold Fury, because I personally am not. I'm okay with them just trying to farm up and realize the last engagement they had didn't go well. But they did start at 3-on-5, which is one of the reasons I feel it didn't go so well in that mid lane. The
Gold Fury that takes you from 2,000 to 3,000 to 5,000 or 6,000 is one of the most important Gold Furies in the game. When you're down 2K, nobody cares. If you lose a Gold Fury after a hard-fought team fight or even by surprise, it's fine when you're tied up, because it's just one step in the wrong direction. When you're already one step behind and then they get a Gold Fury, especially when it's free like that, that's an issue. Because one, it tells me that you're just not, your board presence isn't there. You've got to be mindful of these objectives. And without that knowledge, without that head in the game attitude, Trifecta looks slovenly. Whether or not that's the truth, Rival are going to internalize that and look to take advantage of it.
At the Fire Giant, they're in the pit right now. 2 members on the left-hand side for Trifecta.
Look.
Lack of wall coverage, and Trifecta just giving this up.
This is what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about. They didn't have the mentality to defend the Gold Fury, and because of that, they don't have the mentality to defend the Fire Giant. I think Trifecta I don't think that was a choice. I think they get surprised both times.
They're in their own head a little bit, I'd say, but now left-hand side, 2 members grouping up, trying to get a tier 2 tower, as Rival with the Fire Giant have 4 members on this tier 2 in the solo lane. Meanwhile, iceicebaby pushing up the mid lane. And Trifecta just trying to find farm where they can at the moment in the time. I'm looking at the levels, and there's a 5-level disparity between Deathwalker and Scary D.
That alone might be why Trifecta are trying to avoid these objectives, if that is their choice and they are not getting hit by surprise, because the vision belongs to Team Rival. There's literally 4 sentry wards surrounding that fire giant pit.
I'm not too worried for Trifecta just yet, though, because they themselves have talked how much on defense at Phoenixes they like to be anyway. They're used to fighting them, and they feel confident in taking them. And I think that's probably what the game plan's going to be now. Okay, we're down 2 games. We're losing game 3. Let's hope our Phoenix defense, which is pretty solid with this composition, can stand up to it.
Sieging into a Chang'e is very difficult because of Waxing Moon and the way the stun sort of stacks up in duration. Sieging into a Fear No Evil, also very difficult. But Sam for Soccer and Deathwalker are gonna play chicken. Basically, he who pops their ultimate first kind of loses the engage.
I think if Sam can get in there and get his ultimate off and get 4 sets of beads is the dream scenario for Trifecta. Obviously, if he dies after the fact or gets out, great, but then it's on the rest of the team to back him up with their control after those beads are burned.
Paul's on top of the player damage, and he has to be. If Paul isn't doing, and I would almost say that Paul needs to be doing more damage. Paul's not absolutely rocking these team fights. He's just not doing his job.
Just keep an eye on the banishes, because that banish is where the burst will come from. You'll see the damage coming out from the Jing and the Polynomicon from Paul on this Freya. That's what they're looking to do. Burst a target with the banish.
It's a big deal. The banish doesn't wind up on the slash line. Banish doesn't wind up on the scoreboard. Still, a big way that Paul can impact the game.
iceicebaby in the mid lane, trying to make sure he can keep some pressure there, or keep one of the members of Trifecta, mainly Sam if he can help it. But now he rotates to the left-hand side, and it's a 5-on-5. NeiruMah initiates on Deathwalker, gets the beads. Fear No Evil and Odin ring drop down. Into the base go Rival, looking to burst one, and they've already got Sam for Soccer. Zapman's out of the fight, the Fear No Evil. It didn't really matter, the Phoenix is still under threat. Vote and Wlfy working on it. Trifecta have lost their left Phoenix.
That's really what I was talking about. Sam for Soccer drops to Fear No Evil, and after that, Team Rival say, all right, you did it, and now we're gonna surge in. Deathwalker pops the ultimate, forces Trifecta off of the Phoenix, and just very simply, Team Rival are able to take that Phoenix exactly how they drew it up.
This is the issue, because iceicebaby can get round the back. Paul has been forced to the sky, the card's still ticking.
There it is.
The exorcism at the end will pick up the kill, and into the base go Rival, looking to make back-to-back finals 2 years in a row.
This is definitely it. The Titan down to 80%. Team Rival trying to fight on into it. Trifecta playing defense. Scary D's in the yellow. He's retreating down into the fountain. Team Rival going to it. We'll see you in the finals.
We get an EU NA finals once again. Rival, the start of the year was great. Good performances throughout. Through 4, they started to slip a little bit, but it looks like the Rival the fans have come to love are back to play. And tomorrow, they're going to end up taking on Splice for the World Championship.
This is absolutely a season to be proud of if you are in the red, white, and blue.
Yeah.
These guys, I love the way NeiruMah, Zapman, they still have a good look on their faces. Head up. This is a squad that superseded all of the predictions, proved all of the analysts wrong, and came through, played their game. They're not supposed to be here.
They came 5th in the split in their region and made it to a semi-final, still to face off against Rival, one of the most established European TPN teams from last year's World Championships. But now it's all about Rival. It's all about what Rival can do next. Can they get that monkey off their back with the fact that they lost the finals last year against the United? This time, though, it's against Splice.
Well, they've got a monkey in the solo lane. That Sun Wukong and a Deathwalker has been a giant source of victory. It forced a ban from the North Americans here in game number 3. Team Rival right now, again, this is your blue-collar team. All the way back when they were Cyclone, they put the work in, and now they're trying to reap the benefits. Rival find themselves in the finals again.
Do you know, it's one thing as well?
What's
I'm not
that?
really seeing too much EU playing Pele at all, and then all of a sudden, semi-final match, 1 game away from finals, and EU randomly pick up Pele.
Hey man, iceicebaby, that's an Ice Ice character. He can tear players up with it. It's exactly what he did. Hot hands, baby.
Well, it's time to get it back to the desk, but I will say, you should have done that USA champ. Warned you. Let's go, Kelly.
Thank you so much, Hindu Man. And although we're not getting USA versus USA, I think this is the turnout that the audience wanted.
I think so. Rival making a second appearance yet again at Worlds, but Trifecta put up quite a fight all 3 games.
Yeah, you definitely have to give props to Trifecta. No one thought they would be here at the world stage, semis. Rival's just a really, really good team, possibly the best in the world. I guess we'll see tomorrow.
But I mean, if you're going to have 2 teams go to the grand finals, might as well do it in a 3-0 victory to show that they are the best teams. They both deserve to be in the grand finals.
And they changed their strategy so often, not just in terms of picks, but the way they play. iceicebaby started to camp out Scary D towards that mid game, allowing Deathwalker just the freedom to start rotating and making that Zhong presence.
Yeah, they got the Zhong really fat, so they would be in the team fights really potent. And he also rushed the ban cross, which was another reason I think they camped him, because in turn he's going to have no defense early on, so maybe Sam is going to look for that gank potential, but you know, iceice had his back in the entire time.
That Bancroft's talent was actually crucial to surviving that 5-minute gank, and then the turnaround gank from iceicebaby really shutting down Sam's momentum.
And if it's not too much of a surprise for this set, it is going to be Deathwalker, your MVP, just really playing any role that he needed to play.
The Sun Wukong in game number 2 here. Game number 3, specifically the Zhong was no other stranger to the damage. And this is what he was doing very well, was zoning out the backline. Whether it was Zapman on the NeiruMah, whether it was Paul onto the Ullr, he was doing his solo lane duties.
Yeah, at each game he got a winning matchup. He last pick, I think, has got all 3 games, so that obviously he's going to have a good scenario to get a winning matchup. And also, he was just playing super confident, always looking for the rotations, especially when he's already winning the lane, and obviously poking out Scary D a whole lot.
Yeah, this tower dive, this goes to show Rival had a clear-cut strategy going in. A Chang'e that is unchecked. It's a scary Chang'e, having so much sustain to worry about.
But what did Splice learn from this game? Because Trifecta actually did pretty well, I would say, in comparing to Dignitas and how they performed. Splice always, Trifecta always seemed to kind of be in the game and even get early kills, always get first bloods.
Splice has learned anything from this game. You got to make sure you close it out early against Rival, because they always seem to bring it back.
Yeah, Splice and Trifecta definitely have similar play styles. We saw that Trifecta constantly got ahead in duo and looked for those early invades on red, but Rival's just so good at defending that, so Splice has to look at that and see what they can do better at invading that red buff to snowball better and not make as many mistakes as Trifecta around the Gold Fury, around just fights in general.
I think a lot of the focus was duo lane at the beginning of this tournament, but it seems that it needs to be towards solo lane, at least against Rival. If Deathwalker gets off unchecked with a Sun Wukong or otherwise, then you're going to start losing blue buffs, you're going to start losing your backcamps, which also hurts your jungle in turn.
You just have to be well-rounded, because as we could see, Deathwalker was just left unchecked when the duo lane was getting behind, and he was able to kind of stalemate the aggression, the snowball that Trifecta was trying to employ in it. It just kind of stalled out the game and really helped Rival get to those 5v5s.
But outside of Deathwalker, also on the opposite end, Vote soloing out Zapman, that was impressive stuff from his Ullr.
Man, I'm really excited to see what Rival, the team, has to say from that 3-0 victory. Let's check them out.
Rival, welcome back again to the finals. How did Trifecta play? What was the biggest obstacles for you guys to overcome?
Getting ganked or dying early game and do. But you're playing against Sam, it's so weird. No one else in Scrims really ganked early with 3.
You mentioned in Zapman here, Paul and Sam for Soccer have been standout players, kind of rookies. Talk to me about playing against their talent.
Well, Sam just tilts me. Like, I'm trying just 2v2 in the lane, you know. Nope. Sam just shows up every game.
So was there anything surprising from Trifecta today in terms of what they picked or banned? Did things go as expected for you in the picks and bans phase?
I think we read them like a book. Pretty much.
Very simple answers from you guys. There seems to be a lot of confidence in this room. You wound up at the finals a number of times and have come up a day late and $1 short. Is Season 5 the year of the Rival?
Yes. Sure.
Najamain is going to win Worlds.
So it's all about redemption for you boys, otherwise you're going to turn into Obey and be called the bridesmaids every year and never the bride. Going into tomorrow, up against Splice, can you release Sammy what you think the scoreline will be in that best of 5?
3-2 to someone.
We're going 5 games?
Yep.
I'll take it, and I'm sure the fans will too. Any final thoughts you want to say before we let you go?
Thanks for watching.
Props to Trifecta, they played extremely well. Even though the scoreline was 3-0, it was anything but a clean game.
Zapman sucks.
Twitch.tv/Deathwalker79.
Congratulations, boys. Have a wonderful rest of your day. We'll see you tomorrow at 3 p.m. for the finals of the Smite World Championship.